Hello teacups, welcome back. What's brewing with you? So today we are back with Chantal. She has been churning out the mukbangs and will continue to do so. So we've got Taco Tuesday, mukbang and story time. I've got my taco t-shirt on in honor of this auspicious event. I guess we'll just have to get into it.
Hello, Foodie Beauty. Hey guys, hey. How are you? Welcome back.
You guys, I will say, she has changed her lipstick. When she tried this on initially, she was wearing like a fuchsia pink toned lipstick and the undertones didn't match the outfit. That's definitely a better color. I realize this is a bit pot calling the kettle black, but her teeth are looking quite yellow, unfortunately. I don't know if usually reds make your teeth look whiter, so I'm not sure why that's happening. The shirt, obviously we're only seeing it from her boobs up. It's very low on her cleavage. It's that kind of elasticated stuff. I'm guessing that's either because she's not wearing a bra or she's taken my advice. She's pulled it up here, you can see, but it's kind of just, if this is where the bra straps are sitting, that's as far down on the shoulder as she can hold them and still hold the top up. So I'm not sure which one is better really, but that's where we appear to be. She has done her makeup, she's got a big old wing on, she's trying with her appearance at the very least.
Back to another video. Today's video,
she's got the
we are
earrings
going
on.
to be doing a Taco Tuesday.
I've got my shirt ready.
And story time. So I am going to be making some tacos, kind of like lazy tacos. I'm using a taco kit, but the fun is in the toppings, right? So we're gonna have dinner together and I got dressed up just for you guys.
I see.
You're worth it. So, all right, so let's get to.
Unfortunately, it looks like she's actually not wearing a bra. She just went back and I was like, oh, that goes down far. I don't understand if you've got time to get dressed up, why you wouldn't just add spices instead of using a taco kit. Like, this is your job. If you are going to do mukbangs, if you are going to do story times, maybe, spoiler alert, don't pull them out your ass and make them up, and maybe just make tacos from scratch. Try out new recipes. That would be nice. You could do a recipe series and do one a week. You could even, this whole time warp series that I'm not going to forget about, but you're claiming you're going to do, and you and I are going to have words if you don't do this. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this. You and I are going to have words. But you could do, if you wanted to eke some more content out of it, a series of, okay, recipe fails almost. If you're saying, okay, this is the mukbang I want to do, these are the choices I've got, I'm trying out some different recipes for it. And you could see how you try things out. Maybe you didn't like them, maybe they didn't work, you couldn't find these ingredients. You could do a kind of behind the scenes and lead up in your research, which I'm confident you're doing behind the scenes. And that would actually be really interesting. That would be a great source of content for you that I would like to see. Just any effort, really. Any effort would be nice. I appreciate the makeup, that is clearly effort, but just in the content of your videos, even if you refuse to do anything but mukbangs, there's a lot of things you could do with it.
Hey guys, hey, how are you? Oh my gosh, welcome back.
Her background has been changed to a desert because desert tacos. Same with some other people before were saying the background she chose the last time. She was like, why did she showing the, I think they said it was in Italy, and why is she showing that if she's doing lobster? I think it was a case of being as simple as boats, lobster. You know? This is not a great angle. I don't understand why she's cutting her head off here. I'm suspecting, with our talk of how she could place things, she's either trying to hide her hairline because she gave herself a terrible haircut, but she just showed us her full hair before this, so there's no reason to now hide it. Or she's trying to place the camera a little bit more forward so it's not pointing up her chin quite so much. In which case she needs a taller tripod. She needs to get one that extends up, and she could also buy, I mentioned in the last video, it's like a ball head attachment. It's about this big. I got a really crappy one from a Chinese seller, very cheap. It's just a little screw in that you put between your tripod and the bit that screws into your camera mount. And it means that you can put the camera in all directions. And actually that would make it a tiny bit taller as well, which is probably good for her needs. And then she could tilt it down in that lovely fat girl angle and not have us pointed straight up her nose. The suggestions, they wouldn't take very much to do, they wouldn't be very expensive. So it would be a way to improve her setup.
To another video. I'm so excited. I'm having homemade tacos. Don't these look
You're having taco kits, not homemade tacos.
delicious? Oh my gosh. So, yes, homemade tacos on these nacho cheese shells. And I have some ground beef, fresh garden salsa, cilantro. I just love this salsa. I think it's called like Jack's Garden or something like that. I'm not too sure. I'll have to check the package. Some sour cream, and then I have some pickled jalapenos and tomatoes, and some shredded cheese to go on them.
They look like fairly big amounts. I mean, I know it's a mukbang, she doesn't care at the minute, but that's a lot of shredded cheese. I don't really care about the tomatoes. I mean, it's a tomato, and nobody ever got fat eating a tomato when she's got 5 double stuffed tacos in front of her. I don't love cheese when it's not melted. In stuff like this, I prefer it melted on top, so I always put the cheese underneath the meat so the heat of the meat can melt it. Is that just me? I always find that nicer.
Yes, and some garnish, some lime wedges, because why not?
I mean, she's presented it. She didn't make us sit through her setting up the presentation, aside from just putting a couple of toppings on, so she's capable of being taught.
And we have coldest water bottle in the house. Get your own. Check the link in the description. Use my code. And be entered to win a free bottle of her own.
Someone pointed this out in the comments and I hadn't considered it. There are quite strict rules on YouTube, I believe, of when you do a giveaway. The reason people stopped doing a lot of giveaways, you have to be very clear on when the competition ends. Like, people still do giveaways, but there's more rules around it now. She never says this competition will finish at X time. She never shows who won it. Now, it might be she's getting around that because she's linking to a giveaway that Coldest Water Bottle are running rather than running it herself. But it always seems odd to me that it's a continual competition. It never ends. You know, where are the winners of this competition? I would like to know.
I want to join the Coldie Club. Okay, guys. So let's get to. Okay, I'm gonna garnish these. So I'm gonna put some cheese on top.
She put her hand in the cheese then, and I was like, oh, maybe it's not so much cheese. But now I don't know if it just maybe says something about the size of her hand instead. Might be a meme. Maybe. I was like, oh, it's actually a small bowl. Maybe not. When you consider the size of her hand compared to the taco, I think the camera is messing with my perspective.
And yeah. So, all right. Having Taco Tuesday reminds me, I don't have cheese. This is all the shredded cheese I had left. Reminds me of an event. Now first, okay. So I had enough of the teen angsty dramas. I've been watching Dawson's Creek. I've been binge watching Dawson's Creek. Because for me it's nostalgia. I grew up with that. I love that show. But I subscribe to Crave, and it has like HBO, Showtime kind of thing. So there's a show from Showtime that's available for streaming, and it's called Gigolos. Oh, you might hear my cats meowing. They saw this big mosquito, and they're flipping out. So it's called Gigolos. It's not a safe for work show.
I bet.
And it's not safe for children, okay?
Well, it's called Gigolos.
Sam, get the bugs. So, I don't know if you...
Wasn't she super concerned about Sam eating a big bug once before that she went running? Well, she was high and she went running. She was like, no, please! And he jumped off the banister and an enormous bug.
If you guys have ever heard of this show, but it's almost like pornography. Like, it's explicit. Follows the lives. It's a reality show about these guys in Vegas, this group of guys who are gigolos. and they're basically male escorts. They're called gigolos, whatever.
Okay. So as a setup for this story that apparently definitely really happened, she's been watching teen drama. She's always like, you know how a lot of her stories aren't real. Let's preface this with this. A lot of her stories are not real. And the reason we get a lot of repeated elements in a lot of her stories is because it's her, 36-year-old Chantal, taking inspiration from around her, the teen drama and the gigolo show, and saying, if I had done this when I was younger, what would have been the most shocking thing? And then we get repeated elements because she has certain things that she finds shocking, or certain things that she finds disgusting, or certain things that she finds funny. And so we see them repeated. We saw it in her Pathfinder story when she was talking about, I don't know, having a smelly woman's area. Because she finds that really insulting. It's the biggest insult you can do to another woman, insult their vagina. And I'm like, seriously? Because these stories don't have to be real to reveal a huge amount about her psychology. I mean, really. This story is going to be the same. It's the same, okay, what would have been shocking? Let me add some things. And she doesn't give any credit to any of her audience of having basic common sense of being, that doesn't sound right. And so she takes inspiration. But to say, okay, like, reality TV, I have some very, very strong doubts as to the reality of this reality TV show. It is still made for TV. You know, it's still going to be presented in a very carefully edited way. And she has the same problem when she looks on social media. She takes things as real when actually they're very much presented, you know? But let's get into this horseshit story, shall we?
I don't know where that name came from, but it's a funny name.
Oh, before we do, allow me to give you some information somewhere on the screen. Here is something, this is the last time before I let us start, sorry. Here's something she could have done with this video, given that I'm dispensing advice. She loves like Mystery Monday, she loves to talk about the supernatural, she loves horror, she loves murder, she loves scandal, she loves talking about sex. So when I looked this up, and by looked this up, I mean I Googled the word gigolo and went to Wikipedia. So partial credit, I realized, but it's more research than she did, so whatever. And I looked up the term gigolo. And I either have or will put the definition up somewhere. But it made a point that in the latter part of the 19th century, particularly after the scandalous murder case known in Paris as the Pranzini affair, the term gigolo took on connotations of an exotic foreign male whose company and affections could be purchased by well-to-do French women. So in terms of it coming into sort of common usage, that's sort of the element we're coming from. It has some more information. You can go check the Wikipedia. I didn't research it very hard. Yeah, I know Wikipedia is editable by everyone, so in terms of the source material, be careful, but whatever. I very briefly just typed in Pranzini affair. The Pranzini affair would have been a great story time for this mukbang. Apparently it was one of the first global murder mysteries involving a gigolo and a courtesan and murder, and like, it's exactly down her alley. She could have researched it and had something based on some kind of fact. So you've been like, I've been watching this show Gigolos and it made me think, where does that word come from? And here, let me tell you a story time. Like, I would have much preferred that as content for this.
So it actually reminded me, that with tacos reminded me of a story of this guy I was dating on and off.
No, you weren't.
He was very, I think I told you about him. He worked at a salad dressing factory. We were always getting into fights because he was just so like, he was just clueless when it came to how to treat your girlfriend. Like, he was just really inconsiderate.
Sure, your
I told you the story about when I went there, we made plans, I knocked and knocked.
Her camera has had enough and it's like, bitch, this is not the way. It has just reframed itself to be like, show your hair, this is a better angle for you. Even inanimate objects can do this better.
And, you know, a grumpy family member ended up answering the door. Not him. and he was sleeping, and we went to McDonald's after, and he didn't even get me anything. He just got himself like 2 meals.
She's never forgiven him.
And I know what you're thinking, like, okay, well, you know what? I had to put up with him for hours, and I was like starving, and I knew we were going to McDonald's, so I was dreaming of that juicy quarter pounder all for nothing. Okay, so okay, did the camera move, or is it just me?
Yeah, it did.
What the hell's going on?
It's editing for you.
I don't know, my tripod is acting all weird, so anyways, okay.
It is a better frame for you than it was before. You should be thanking your tripod.
So, so that guy, the salad dressing factory guy, he worked at a salad dressing factory. I don't know if it was, they just made salad dressing, but he always smelled like salad dressing. I think he worked at the Kraft plant that was like in a town nearby, and he would always have salad dressing stains on his shirt, and he always smelled like Catalina or French dressing.
If he had smelled like ranch, they'd be married right now.
Okay, let's take a bite. Okay, this is gonna be so messy.
If you had him with 17 pounds of filling in it.
Just give me a minute here.
She literally means a minute. We'll cut. Licking her palm again?
We were on and off again because
He's imaginary.
for the gigolo show, this guy.
Because even in your wildest imagination, you can't have a dedicated relationship with somebody.
Was kind of like a gigolo in the end. But now here's the story, okay?
No, I'm sure it's real. Convince me. Think about it. Don't want to make a fool of yourself.
We were on the outs, like, he would just do inconsiderate things and piss me off, and I would just not talk to him. Then he would beg to talk to me.
Of course he
would make it up to me.
Of course he would. As a working gigolo, I'm sure you were his priority.
He was just like rude and inconsiderate without realizing it, you know?
I'm never sure which one I'm more sad about, the fact that she thinks they're not realizing it, or the fact that she has to make this, even when she's making shit up. This is the kind of relationship she imagines for herself. It's a little bit sad, really. With her relationships, I think she's had a long-term relationship with Pete. She had a long-term relationship with BB. I think the French lover is a real person, but I think she embellishes what went on with him. I don't think she's been a massive one for one-night stands. She's incredibly awkward now. And in being so incredibly awkward, she likes to invent a wild past for herself. In reality, the parts of stories we've heard that have stayed consistent, she's shown herself to be an emotionally stunted, socially awkward cockblock. So I don't believe the vast majority of her stories. I think that she is just imagining what could have been shocking because she's still mentally in her teens and thinks that that makes her cool. I'm sorry if that sounds incredibly harsh, but that's where I am with her.
Like with the McDonald's thing.
She's never forgiven it.
Like, you know, I was pissed about that because
I can believe she knew a guy and maybe met him once, and then she never forgave the McDonald's. And now the story has escalated. If any of you can find the video where she told this story before, apparently. I had a quick look through her history. She deletes a lot of things, and I wasn't about to do a deep dive into her other TMI stories to find out which one it was. But if you know where that video is, please let me know. I'd be interested to see what details changed. Because if she didn't mention he was a gigolo before, that's a pretty big thing to forget. And very convenient with the gigolo TV series storyline here.
I told him after a while. Like, at first I didn't have the courage. But after a while, I was like, didn't think I would ever talk to him again, so I let him have it. But he called me up, and he was like, let me make it up to you. Come over for dinner. It's Taco Tuesday. And I'm gonna make tacos. I'm gonna make us some tacos, babe. So I said,
She can't even imagine.
I thought it was kind of sweet, honestly. I was like, wow, okay, let's see. I'll give him another chance. Because honestly, I just liked attention, you know?
I can believe that.
Attention from older boys.
I can believe that. But Does everyone in every story have to be a stereotype? Why so lazy? At least come up with an interesting story.
The shell is cheesy and crispy, crunchy.
It's a taco
Lightly
shell.
toasted.
It's
Salsa,
a box taco shell.
cheese,
You've already told us what's in the taco.
fresh tomatoes, and the pickled jalapenos always make it. What do you guys like on your tacos?
Give her some engagement, guys, so she can delete it.
All right.
I like my tacos to not be presented
So
by
I
a
decided to go
400-pound
over.
woman.
This time he answers the door.
This time. Even if it's real, have some self-respect.
He's mixing meat in a bowl, I guess, with the spices. I usually just add mine in the pan, but whatever. He's like, oh, hey, babes. Give me a kiss. Go sit in the living room, and I'll cook, and I'll let you know when it's done.
Okay, so life of luxury with this imaginary man.
And when I say inconsiderate, like, without thinking, like, he just left me there the whole time.
Would you pick something to be angry and bitter about? Either he ignored you or he didn't ignore you. He said he was going to cook dinner for you and then you're angry that he left to cook dinner for you? For God's sake, you sound like a real peach. Like, I'm sure you were wonderful to be in a relationship with.
He didn't come back to check on me for like a good 45 minutes to an hour. Didn't ask if I wanted a drink. His brother, the family situation at their place is super awkward. Like, his brother hates him. We're gonna call him, okay, we're gonna call the boyfriend, let's call him Dennis, okay?
She had to cut that. It was that hard to think of a name.
I don't even know what name I used in my previous story time for him.
Someone
Dennis,
find
and the
it for
brother,
me.
we'll call him Phil. So, and then the uncle, who was the caregiver, I think he just inherited Dennis.
I'm pretty sure that's not how you get kids. I'm sure there's a process for that.
He just always looked crabby. Like, he just came into the living room once and just grunted a nod, like a hi, and that was it.
What should he have done?
But he would lose his shit sometimes and just yell at Dennis, like, just yell at him. Like, I don't know what kind of dynamic it was, but it wasn't a wholesome.
I'm telling you right now, 2 teenage boys in a house, they probably needed yelling at occasionally. Yeah, I mean, the guy doesn't sound great, but then your imagination isn't, sorry, your memory isn't always reliable, so I don't know what the real situation was, but it's not indicative of the entire relationship.
It was kind of dysfunctional, you know? So it was kind of awkward going there, but...
But you were desperate?
Anyway, I'm sitting there, his brother was good looking. Like, he had, like, nice blue eyes and nice brown hair.
Does one of the characters on the show look like that? Tell me below.
And he was thoughtful. He offered me a drink. It was warm apple juice, but anyway. It was a thought that counts.
Because you can never be happy with anything.
Finally, dinner time.
You could have walked into the kitchen and said hello to your supposed boyfriend. You could have made an effort.
And so awkward. We're sitting there. Complete silence.
Sounds like a comfortable relationship you found yourself in. Let's think of what could have happened next. Give me a minute. I need to take a drink.
It was like unintentional ASMR. Smacking, crunching.
Thank God you've grown.
Dennis had, like, I swear, 8 tacos. As I'm wolfing down tacos.
Yeah, be careful. He was a growing teenage boy. What were you? Take the top off. Why don't we?
Goldie, you never disappoint. So,
unlike our lover stories. I'm a bitch today,
anyways,
you guys.
It was awkward because I don't like awkward silence. So I was just like thinking, you know, how can I break the silence? What can I say? You know, it was so awkward. So I was just like, eventually I was just like, so Dennis, like, how's the salad dressing factory? And like immediately his brother just like, kind of like chuckled and was like, so Dennis didn't tell you, did he? And then like Dennis like kicked his brother and was like, shut up, asshole. You know, like.
How old were they supposedly at this point? Because either you've got 2 very immature teenagers or you've got people old enough to be gigolos. Pick it out your boob and eat it, why not?
It's still good. Anyway.
Think about it some more.
And I'm just like confused, like what? What's going on, you know? And he just totally ratted his brother up. He's like, his brother Phil was like, oh, you didn't tell your girlfriend, Dennis, how now you got canned from your job, and now your job is a male escort or a male gigolo, and you keep older fat women with too many cats company for chicken noodle soup. And I was like, what?
Yeah. So, you remember when I say all her stories have the same elements? Her scoring a homeless guy outside in a rock for McDonald's or whatever, that guy she invited over for Burger King. You start to see these same elements through and through and through. And she doesn't even have the imagination to, she's like, oh no, any woman that hires an escort must be an elderly fat woman who's the mother of cats and tries to feed you soup. You know? And she can only take exactly what she has nearby in life as inspiration. And she says that in a minute. She goes, oh, I've just described myself. Yeah, you did.
Hey, I know that's mean, that's his words, not mine.
No, it wasn't. It's very much yours. And you don't even have the imagination.
And you totally just described me.
Yeah, you don't even have the imagination to lie.
No.
To lie well, I should say. Like, at the very least, could you go onto some internet forum where middle-aged women discuss these things and steal some of their stories? Go and find stories that actually happened that didn't happen to you. Yeah, if you can't find inspiration in your own life, at least lie better. That's what gets me. Like, don't assume I'm stupid enough to believe this. Lie better. It's insulting. She needs more time to think.
I was like, what? You know, I'm gonna like drill him about this after.
Not
they were
now.
arguing. And the uncle just like had enough. He's like, can you two ever shut the hell up? Damn it. So he's like, let's go downstairs. And downstairs time in his little room area meant we would go downstairs and we would make out. At first, he grossed me out because my first impression wasn't great of him. But eventually he grew on me because
Like
he was a good
fungus.
kisser. So we would just make out and things.
This is such horseshit reasoning. Like, he grossed me out, but it was a good kisser. How did you get to the point of kissing him if he grossed you out? And the same elements of the story come through. Because he was imaginary is the answer.
Harmless or whatever. And I had to ask him, I was like, before we do anything, I'm like,
I
before
got
you touch me, just tell me
standards.
what just happened up there. Like, I was getting mad again.
Oh, you got standards. You demand an explanation from your non-boyfriend.
He was like, it's nothing, babe. I was like, what is your brother talking about? You got fired from your job? What's a gigolo? I knew what an escort was, but...
Would teenage boys use the term gigolo? I feel like they wouldn't.
And he was like, he just kind of like, it's nothing. He's like, I have a friend who sets me up as a male companion for these women I see. I have clients, they're older women.
I'm very doubtful.
There's no sex involved. I don't know if I believed him.
If it were real, I'd say you shouldn't, but I don't think it's real, so don't worry about it.
I was like, well, what kind of things do you do then? You know?
This story is painful.
Totally, he's like, I'm a younger hot guy, so we just go over there, make them feel good, you know? Give them a little foot massage, this and that. And I'm like, okay. He's like, just watch, you know, The Young and the Restless with them. Compliment them. Just spend time with them. They want some male attention.
Because,
like,
of course, these middle-aged women who are the mother of cats and the maker of chicken noodle soup would just be at home watching The Young and the Restless this whole time. Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay. So I was like, what the hell, you know? But I was like, what is the deal with the chicken noodle soup? Like, why did your brother say that?
Of course, she focuses
What,
on the
you
food.
get paid in chicken noodle soup? And he's like, well, actually, yeah. He's like, I have this one client who always makes homemade chicken noodle soup, and every time I go over, she pays me in cash and gives me some homemade chicken noodle soup.
There's the quirky detail that obviously makes the story true. Man, I wish this was vodka right now.
Almost like Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo.
Oh, it's almost like a movie you've seen. Colour me shocked. Man, if she keeps doing these story times with this low effort of lie, I'm gonna have to actually make that moonshine she should be making for her 1920s. I mean, I'm probably gonna have a month before she uploads the video anyway. I can make my own moonshine.
And I kind of like didn't believe him that. Now that I think about it, maybe I was more gullible back then, more naive. So
And you're just a bad liar.
I kind of took his word for it. Like he didn't do anything with them.
I was gonna say something really mean that I'm gonna not say.
I probably did. What's to stop him? If a woman was like, I'll give you an extra couple hundred for a blowy or whatever, an extra 50 for a blowy. He never told me why he got fired from the salad dressing factory.
Clearly that's the important part of the story.
He no longer smelled like salad dressing, which was a good thing. But instead he was covered in cat hair. These women had a lot of cats apparently, a lot of them.
Of course he was. And everybody's got your level of hygiene, so he wouldn't have brushed that off or gotten changed. He wouldn't have been wearing a different outfit to go and see these women. And all the women had to have... Oh, yeah. She thinks we're stupid.
So, anyway, yeah. So technically, right, I mean, that makes him a male escort or gigolo. He gets paid to give companionship, even if it's not sexual. Not all escorts do sexual things.
Guys, is this a setup? Is this for the new era of her hiring gigolos? I am here for it. Is this her way of being like, it's nothing, it's just companionship, it's not sexual, I'm not hiring a prostitute. Please, please let this be leading to her hiring one of these men to fake being her boyfriend for a while. I mean, she's been having issues and worries about dating. She's perfectly described herself in this story. Please, come on, I'll give up the 1920s mukbang. Let this happen. Let this be the era that's coming.
Thanks.
Oh, come on, guys. That'd be amazing.
Now,
come on, Chantal.
it's kind of nice.
I know you watched my video. Come on. It would solve all your problems. You would be paying for his time. He'd just have to love you. He'd just have to enjoy your company. And then you wouldn't have to worry about it. You just, oh, come on. I found the solution for you while you find your next partner. Just fun. You're a mature woman. You've got money. You've got the ability to do this. It's 2020. Go hire yourself a man and enjoy it.
Everyone needs affection and love and attention, right? So
yeah, go get some.
And from the show I've been watching, gigolos, it's not only, there's like some really attractive women who hire escorts just because they're hot. And,
it's completely fine. You should do it.
Company or whatever, for a date.
I am with you. I think you should do this. It would take all the pressure off you. You could just enjoy each other's company. There must be a service like that where she is. Come on. You are an independent woman. You can do this.
Now, I did get the opportunity to go with him to a client.
The fuck you did. Oh. Okay, this story is imaginary, and I am 100% with you to be like, dude, let this be the era of the gigolo. You can do this. But the fuck did you go to a client? You think any client is going to be okay with that? You think any person working in that industry is going to include real life people that they know that are not also involved in that industry as just turning up at your clients like they're not going to want their privacy? Do you think we're getting stupider as this video goes on? My IQ is dropping just looking at her. She just painted herself into a narrative corner. That's what that would be.
Apparently she didn't mind.
Bullshit.
he told her, like she called, I guess, and he was with me. He's like,
so if he was with you, why do you need to guess? Either she did or she didn't. He was with you, you would know.
He's like, I'm with my girlfriend right now, and apparently she sort of said that I could go.
Okay. 1, that's terrible for your friend. 2, you said you were dating him on and off, you weren't boyfriend, girlfriend. 3, he is being, apparently, let's be generous and say even parts of this story are true. He's being paid by another woman to make them feel good. There is an element of imagination there that's fulfilling a need within them. Do you genuinely think any woman who is paying for his time is going to want to hear, no, I'm with the girl I actually like. I can't come and earn your money right now. You think that's going to make anyone feel good? Jesus Christ. Just think through your lives. Think just to the next step. Not even long term.
I've always had a very
active imagination.
Eccentric curiosity.
Weird, morbid curiosity. Eccentric is a nice word for
heck
it.
Yes, I wanted to go.
If this had ever happened, I would have been fascinated. But it didn't.
These are so...
I need time to think. Let's talk about the
freaking
food.
good. Like... Oh, crap.
5 double stuffed
I had
tacos.
packets of Taco Bell sauce. Whew. Whew. These jalapenos are spicy.
Why are you complaining about the taco sauce if the jalapenos are spicy? Surely they're fulfilling the same thing. You had enough toppings on there, man.
If you guys want to hear about my experience,
I don't.
the spicy, so I'm gonna add more. At this woman's house
Sounds like your logic.
with Dennis. Let me know.
Give me some time to make it up and I'll consider it. She couldn't even finish the story.
Time.
She couldn't even finish making it up.
I'm gonna tell you about Sloppy Joe. This guy.
I hate that I might be familiar enough with some of her content that sounds familiar. Is she recycling another story? I don't know. I even before I started reacting, I tended to kind of skip through her story times because, but I feel like the name Sloppy Joe is familiar because I don't think she's eaten Sloppy Joes on camera, so I wouldn't be getting them confused. Could she try some new stories? Like, she just seems to be retelling the old ones now. Like, if you're gonna lie, think of some new lies. Surely we deserve that for how much you get paid.
Whose nickname was Sloppy Joe. Met him at a dingy bar. You know how it goes.
It can only ever be a dingy bar because she can only ever tell stories and stereotypes.
Of course, food reminds me of certain lovers.
I think it's more likely food reminds her of the lack of certain lovers, and so we end up with these stories. And lack of certain lovers reminds her of food.
Tacos are so good, but they're so messy.
I don't need you licking your fingers. You're gonna gag on those one day.
Okay.
Oh. And the dirty napkin, she just took the sludge off her thumb off all over her new shirt.
That was really, really good. Good supper. So,
I don't know how to end that lie, so
that
we're
was
not
my
gonna.
story.
That wasn't your story. You can even finish it.
Yeah, I can tell you another time more stories with him. Obviously, we eventually broke up. Just had enough of his crap. He just stopped calling. I think he just had enough of it too, I guess. I don't know. But
Can't even think of a
I don't know if
breakup.
you want the rest of the story sometime. Excuse me. And thank you so much for having dinner with me tonight. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
So there we go. It was all a lie and she thinks we're stupid, is what I'm taking from that. She couldn't even finish the story. She kind of painted herself into a narrative corner and then was like, oh, I don't know how to finish this realistically or what I think they'll accept. If you can link either of the previous stories below, please let me know, or just point me in the right direction. A therapist would have a field day with her because, as I said, I think in the beginning of this, actually, if these stories are true or not true, either way, they expose a lot in her head that I think she needs to discuss with somebody. That's all I've really got time for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If not, lovely to see you, and maybe I'll see you again sometime. Bye bye, guys.